Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Langrisser Mobile. Alright, so we got a new month, and we got some new banners. Or just one banner. Well, multiple banners, but none of them I care about except for the collab. So, we got Lena and Zelgadis from the Slayers anime, manga, or whatever. I'm not that familiar. I know of its existence, but I've never actually watched or read any of it. So I'm not really that familiar with it. As for the character herself, she's a rather powerful mage who unfortunately kind of gets overrun by the later banners that are kind of back-to-back really good characters. She is another long-range caster, which is always good. But since I've kind of moved off of long-range builds as well as AoE, I don't really have much intention of using her. But let's go ahead and grab her and see how we do. Alright, we got Angelica here. Alright. Huh? Alright. Only 40% chance to get her, though. Alright, so we got Golem Boy, which is not great. Berserker, an outstanding sorcerer swordsman infused with the power of a brow daemon and a golem. So now I get to be more upset when I keep getting him. But at least it wasn't pity. But as for Lena herself, which unsurprisingly for a collab character, she has a mechanic where she gets buffed when allies get killed. Well, I guess more accurately, she has a random chance of getting a buff that'll increase her mobility and damage. But that random chance becomes 100% if an ally dies, which it's pretty easy to get something like a summon killed. Don't know why, but the collabs always like to jam that mechanic in, where if an ally dies, they power of friendship their way into making things much worse. Alright, I think that was 60. It was either 50 or 60, I kind of lost count. Well, that's bad. Yeah, I have a feeling that's just gonna go really, really bad. So another Zell. There's literally no use for them. Co-op characters don't have any character requirements for bond unlocks. So unless you just are a fan of Zelgadis, there's not really any reason to go for him. And meta-wise, he's not really used. His kit is actually kind of interesting, but it's not. He has like the ability to directly attack heroes based off if his intelligence happens to be really high compared to the targets. which for a mage is... I could really kill someone pretty easily. I mean, mages are already pretty good at killing non-mages. Alright, I think this is 40. I keep changing when I'm making these tick marks on my little sheet here. And it's throwing off my count. It's completely my fault, but I also blame the fact that it's 6 a.m. right now. Because that's when the banner actually shows up. There we go. For some reason my click was not working. That was a lot of SRs. Fortunately, all my SRs are max at this point. I'm not exactly hurting on time shards. I think we're hitting pity soon. Alright. Hello, pity. I already knew. I was like, yep. We're gonna be screwed. Alright, so now we've gotten 3 Zelgatus, one of them on pity. Let's see how bad this will go at this point. But as for Lena's kit, you can, she does have Arcane Blast, which of course does incredible damage against mages and holy. That in combination with her rage mechanic, she can pretty much like guarantee crits and just blow up an entire group pretty effectively. That's what a lot of the videos I saw did. Which is why a lot of them will immediately focus on getting rid of Christiane first, because obviously mitigating magic damage is something you don't want when trying to use Lena. So the question is am I going to have a 6-star Zelgatus by the end of this? It's been a while since I've been forced to 6-star something I didn't want just to get a character. And there's literally no other way to get this character after the event's over. That's it. Unless I do a rerun, which have been pretty few and far between lately. Alright, hello pity again. Alright, we got her. That means we don't need to do anything more of this. That was like 280 summons. Well, that's like 180 more than I really wanted to do. Genius Sorceress, a talented girl possessing both strength and beauty who specializes in black magic. Alright, I will be back once I fully upgrade her. Alright, one thing I did forget to do before diving into this was go over the new exclusives. We got the weapon for Amadeus, which I don't care about, but we also got the helmet for Joa and Connie, so I already got that set up now. The Y-type visual terminal here, it increases HP, which is great. When within 3 blocks of Joa, Connie's crit damage increases by 15%. And whenever Joa uses channel interference, which is the little cloak ability, it will not only do the usual things where it does a bunch of debuffs around enemies, but any nearby enemies can't be guarded from Connie's attacks. So this is a way to essentially make Connie into a pseudo-assassin, using Joa as a setup. Obviously, once Joa goes down, then you kind of lose that benefit. Also, his cloak is not as useful as you would hope, simply because of the amount of passive AoE that a lot of the melee units have. Still, it's another character that has access to it, and I mean, there's definitely ways you can work with this. You could do channel interference from a distance, where you're still close to your tank, and then next round move Joa up with the channel interference active, and then move in with Connie to assassinate. So it's still doable, but it definitely requires setup. Besides that, let's go ahead and go over Lena. Oh, actually, sorry, there was a couple other things. There's been some new inscriptions. The only one I was able to get access to for now is the one on Azusa, which gives extra physical damage if you have soft, and additional magic damage if you have hard. If you have both, of course, you get both, and it also increases attack by 5%. The other characters that also got new inscriptions is Mariandel, Chloe, and somebody... Oh, and Toa. Yeah, Toa gets one, where her tactical guidance gets even better with fusion power. I have seen builds where they use Toa, the transfer buffs, to Lena to maximize her explosions. In any case, let's go ahead and talk about Lena. So Lena has access to sword infantry and mage. Most people go mage because cavalry is a thing, but besides that, she does get increased unit range as part of her kit. It starts out at +1, but eventually becomes +2. When she has a buff, she increases her damage dealt, and then whenever she does an action or when an allied unit takes damage, there's a chance that she'll get Wrath, in which case she gets additional mobility, and her next crit chance becomes 100% for the next attack. Wrath will guarantee happen if an allied unit happens to die. So, pretty useful. She does have, as mentioned, she does have access to Arcane Blast. There's not that many characters that have access to it, I think. Yeah, honestly, I can only think of one other character. Dragon Slave is her unique AoE. It's a line-based AoE that will hit multiple enemies within range, but it does more damage based off how close they are to the center. It also is super effective against dragons. Yeah, and also if she's in an anger state, it'll actually increase the skill span by 1. And it also applies a terrain effect, which will prevent them from getting increased defense effects, and they are afflicted with random debuffs. She also has access to a lot of the staples. She does have Black Hole, she does have Dark Reaper. She also has access to Mass Attack. She also has a unique passive where anytime, or after dealing damage, she will get steal a buff. So very, very useful. So even if you survive the Dragon Slave or the Arcane Blast that's coming your way, she'll still remove buffs from you to make things even worse. When attacked and forced into battle, if the enemy hero class is an assassin, she will strike first and steal 2 buffs from the enemy. So she's a kind of a pretty hard counter against a lot of assassin types. The only issue, of course, is she can only counterattack at 2 range, and so essentially any assassin with a bow, or anyone that uses a 3 range or higher special attack, will pretty much bypass this for the most part. Also, some of my quote-unquote assassins are not assassin class. They are usually archers or snipers, or heck, even some of the melee classes. Still, pretty useful to have, just for the buff stealing alone. Gear-wise, I didn't really do anything too special. I gave her Full Moon. I know some of the meme builds are doing things like, what's it called? I keep forgetting what the enchant's called. I think it's Meteor. Yeah, doing Meteor, essentially. So you can do extra damage against things that are at full HP. That way you can bring them down to 100% to 0 a lot easier. Also increases crit chance, which obviously helps her out. Beyond that, that is kind of the gist of it. Anyway, let's go into Awakens. Seizing treasure from bad guys in the name of justice and peace, the genius sorcerer Lena Inverse is here. Indeed she is. Alright, for this one we are going to go ahead and swap out of this and take that. And our opponents are... okay, the other 2 collab characters, and then the chorus, who I think is probably a main character in the story. I haven't done it yet, so I can't say for certain. I have 3 range, so let's make use of that. Astral Vine. Alright. Even regular attacks are enough. Gallery's kit is actually kind of interesting. He gets increasingly more powerful and gains more benefits the more buffs he has. Including a self-res when he has like 10 buffs, which is ridiculous. Alright. Got our 6th skill point. I don't care how many demons are after me. God's demons, they're all just, they'll all just have to accept that I'll always win. And she's modest. Alright. Can move additional 2 blocks and attack again after use. Well, that does put him in range. We do have Patsy hit this time around. You don't have the range though. And you got that going. Alright, so for this one we're going to... maybe do that and see what happens. Of course, you have your Dragon Blast thing. That's going to be annoying. Oh, you're also doing Mass Attack. How clever. Alright. You do have an AoE, so that would put you here, and then 1, 2, 3. So I have to move away to at least there. Alright. I don't know what that is. Dispels up to 3 debuffs from a target, restoring 10%. Okay, we don't want to use that yet. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Alright. You can be stunned, right? Yes. Alright. Let's take you out of commission. You really don't do anything. You have sword dance and a bunch of passive nonsense. Great. Alright, whatever. Here it comes. And we exploded. Alright, well now I get enraged. You're still in anger mode. I can't put any buffs on yourself. Oh well, we'll do this and hope for the best. Okay, that's more than I could ask for. Alright. So yeah, she gets a bit crazy when she gets enraged. So if your opponent has Lina in their box, they most likely will have some way of forcing her to get enraged. Leona's Pixie, summon, anything that Sissy White can bring out. There's a lot of options at this point as far as getting summons out to just sacrifice them. Not much of an animation, to be honest. Alright, Ragnar Blade. Before actively dealing damage, increases the enemy's chance to be critically hit by 10% for one turn. This effect is increased by 20% when in Wrath state, so it pretty much guarantees that she'll get crit. Single target, attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.7 times damage. It's super effective against demons. Before battle, nullifies the enemy's armor and helmet skills. If the target is a non-player hero, this effect is replaced with, equivalent debuffs. If this unit is in Wrath state, this attack endures melee damage reduction and deals increased crit damage the closer it is to the enemy, up to 60%. So yeah, she's quite the monster. So yeah, if you were to do something like this, I mean, to be honest, I don't think anyone even actually uses Ragnar Blade. All the kits I've seen use AoE. Anyway, so yeah, that's Lina. She'll probably be around for the next couple of weeks, and then through the the ranked matches, and then she will probably disappear off the face of the earth. So that's kind of the gist of it. Besides that, the only other thing to look at briefly is to see if there's anyone that really stands out as far as replacing, to bring in Joa and Connie again. I mean, Sherry is probably the one that stands out the most, because I don't really use Sherry at all. There's been a couple times where I've used her and she's done her job, but usually those matches were not enough for me to actually win, even with her kit. So, but yeah, Joe and Connie would at least give a little bit more. I mean, I would lose a princess faction and gain a strategic, but that's not really a huge issue. So maybe I'll replace Sherry with Joa and Connie there. Oop, did not want to do that button. Let's see what happens with it. Alright, well, until next time, I'm the Depressed Dior. This was Langrisser Mobile. I'll see you guys next time.